It's now my great pleasure to welcome to the stage our opening keynote address, which is being delivered by Margherita Guaschino, Product Innovation Manager at PVH Tommy Hilfiger, and Gavin McIntyre, Co-founder and Chief Commercialization Officer at Ecovative.
Welcome everybody and good morning. We are really happy to have the honor of being the first keynote speaker of today. And we would like to talk to you about the collaborative work that started already a few years ago between PVH Europe, in particular the Product Innovation Team, and the mycelium technology company Ecovative. Thank you. I'm Margherita Guaschino, Product Innovation Manager at PVH, with the main focus on Tommy Hilfiger brand. And together with me on stage, there is Gavin McIntyre, who is the co-founder and Chief Commercialization Officer at Ecovative. Today, during the presentation, we would like to focus with you on four main topics. The first one is the possibility to share with you some of the future goals that the Product Innovation Team has, and what are different ways that we follow when we are exploring a new solution. As a second point, we would like to dive in the partnership and collaboration that we develop between PVH Europe and Ecovative. Third point is the possibility to dive in the importance of test and learning from testing the material. And as a last point, we would like to highlight with you some points that we think are really important to take in consideration when we want to create the right space for new next generation material. In order to make sure that PVH Europe has the ability to meet some of our business sustainability goals, but also to support the company and our brands to be future-proof in this really competitive environment, one of the main goals of the Product Innovation Team is to support the company to expand and diversify our material portfolio, and also to make sure that we are proposing solutions that help us to lower the use of petroleum-based material. Because of that, our team, already a few years ago, started to dive in the world of natural next-generation material. And these are all those solutions that are using nature, and so bio-content, in order to create fiber and material that in the future can be used to substitute the solution that at the moment we are using to create our collection. Out of this big focus, we decided to take a step and to focus also our attention to those materials that are suitable as a good alternative for conventional leather and petroleum-based material. With this focus, we decided to kick off a specific project, and this started already 3 years ago. And at the beginning of this project, we started the first phase, that is the phase that we call the discovery phase. And here we took the time to understand what were all the startup and technology companies that at the moment were available in the innovator landscape. And for this company, we tried to understand what was their business model, what type of feedstock they were using, the solution that we're proposing, and also the level of readiness. And out of them, we decided to select a few solutions that we thought were the one that were matching better what we were looking for at the moment, but also were matching better with our company. Ecovative was for sure one of the most promising solutions, and with Ecovative and other few startup or technology company, we decided to start the pilot phase. with Ecovative, the pilot phase was really positive, and the result of it has been really strong. And that's why we were able to continue the partnership with the Ecovative startup and to make sure that we could create a long-term partnership. At the moment, we are in the stage where we are continuing to build on the partnership, and we are continuing to test the solution to make sure that we are developing together with Ecovative quality that are in line with our performance and quality standard, to make sure that we are getting something that we can easily adopt, and also internal team of PVH can use and make sure that we can have a long-term view in order to scale them. I will now hand over to Gavin, who is going to talk more about the mycelium technology.
Yeah, thank you so much, Margherita. So at Ecovative, for the last 17 years, we've been developing and commercializing products that are positioned to displace plastics and animal-based materials. And we've done this across industries that range from protective packaging to food products in North America, and our most recent product line is Forager, our elastomeric foams and alternatives or substrates that go into tanneries for leather-like materials. We've done this by working within the kingdom of fungi, or mushrooms. But specifically, we focus on mycelium, the vegetative or root-like structure of mushrooms, and we do that for three principal reasons. The first is that within nature, filamentous fungi and mushrooms are the recycling system. They're responsible for breaking down and digesting the leaf litter and coarse woody debris, returning that nutrient back to the soil, and then, of course, producing the mushroom you might see growing along the forest floor. At Ecovative, we leverage that same principle, taking advantage of an open-loop feedstock system that allows us to locally source biomass that we then can transform into large contiguous sheets of mycelium like this one that you see here, which is 1.6 meters in width by about 30 meters in overall length. We do that in a vertical farming paradigm. The second basic principle is that fungi and their cells are really plastic. So depending on the environment and the species that you select, you can either grow a mushroom or you can differentiate that structure into something that can perform in the world of leather-like textiles or elastomeric foams. The third and most important is scale. And back when we started scaling our aerial mycelium technology back in 2018, we focused on integrating this into what's known as Dutch-style mushroom infrastructure. In that way, we both knew that this was a scalable approach because there are billions of kilograms of installed capacity of this type of infrastructure around the world today. And two, it has a known economic envelope. You can go to Albert Heijn down the street and you can purchase a kilogram of mushrooms, if you're so hungry, for just a couple euros. So it has a known economic footprint. The other aspect of this, which is really important for PVH and Tommy Hilfiger, is how this fits into the model of next generation materials and circularity. Our aerial mycelium products are grown at 3 commercial farms in 3 countries on 2 continents today, and all of those farms operate with raw materials that are sourced within just a couple hundred kilometers. These range from cotton seed hulls or plant stalks from corn, soybean hulls, and sometimes hardwood sawdust. Here in the Netherlands, in Amersfoort, we use organic wheat straw. All of the energy for growth for the fungus comes from those raw material inputs, and over the course of just 7 to 9 days, we grow large sheets like you saw in the image previously. All the scrap or byproduct can passively return to the earth, and we've demonstrated that the compost from that can start the cycle anew, cultivating the next generation of plants that feed our planet and the next generation of raw materials that feed our process. So I'll show you a very quick video here of what this looks like at scale at our farm in upstate New York. We start with our large silos. Each of these holds about 30 tons of agricultural residue. We get shipments weekly. We steam pasteurize those raw materials and introduce what's known as spawn, or the mushroom seed, into the mix. Over the course of just 3 days, the mycelium starts to digest that agricultural residue and becomes so robust that we can then work with it in open air in large manufacturing equipment. So in this instance, this is a 30-meter long shelf. There's 24 of these shelves in this indoor vertical farm. And we fill each one of those shelves in less than 8 minutes. We get these large flat beds, and that's when we really set and forget the process. Using closed loop control, common in vertical farming, we then grow those materials over 7 to 9 days, such that at the point of harvest, they're really ready for the next downstream process, be it going into a foam converter or getting transported to a tannery to then transform into a beautiful article that can then be converted into the garments that we wear or the bags that we use.
The collaborative work between our two companies, PVH and Ecovative, was also possible thanks to the involvement and support of two key partners. The first one is for sure Fashion for Good, and for the people that don't know it, is an innovator platform that help us in the first phase to scout a solution and strong solution as Ecovative. And then in a second phase, Fashion for Good was able to create and also manage a pilot project that was a collaborative pilot project. They were able to bring together different brands from the fashion industry and allow the different brands to work together with Gavin and with the Ecovative team in order to continue to test and develop the solution together. This type of project has been really important for PVH, but I think I can also talk for the other brands because this allows us to share transparency and make sure that we could create an alignment between different fashion brands to understand what were the different characteristics we were looking for, the different type of performance and quality. On the other hand, we think this type of pilot has been also really important for the Ecovative because they were able to really put together comments from different fashion brands and quickly continue to get the feedback loop and improve the solution. A second key partner has been, for sure, the tannery Ecovative. Ecovative is a tannery that is really well known and has a lot of knowledge, and is also a supplier with historical knowledge. And the fact that Gavin and Ecovative team was able to involve the supplier in an early stage has been really important and really an added value for the food project. From a brand point of view, this was able to create additional trust in the technology because we knew that we could work with a supplier that was already involved in our supply chain. In fact, Ecovative is one of our supplier that we use for conventional material. And this was really adding value for us because we were able to work with a really trusted supplier. On the other end, also for Ecovative side, this partnership was really important because they knew that they were working with a supplier with a lot of background and knowledge, and was able to create a strong connection between R&D team of Ecovative and R&D team of Ecovative in order to deeply understand the technology, understand the pro and the contra of it, and really continue to improve the solution together with the right dye stuff and finishing and embossing solution. And now it's time to talk more about testing.
Yeah, so let's talk about how the define, test, and iterate process worked in practice. So we started together about 3 years ago now, a little less than 3 years ago now. And if I may just show this quickly, this is principally what we shared with Margherita at the time. And fortunately, Margherita and team had the vision to see where this could principally go. So this was the scale that we started at, to give you an idea. What was critical for us is that the PVH team armed us with what the critical to quality parameters were for getting to a product that could integrate within their products. And so for us, we took that information and 17 years, or at that point in time, 15 years of background data, paired that with a machine learning algorithm to design our experiments, where we went through a 28-week iterative cycle where we were able to refine and develop a new or advanced, what we call Hide 2.0 for the Forager product. From there, we went from square centimeters of material to square meters to where we are today in terms of tens of square meters per harvest per cycle. And that was what we then were able to share with Eco Leather. PVH once again came in and shared what they needed in terms of the haptics, the touch, the feel, the aesthetic, the texture, and the Eco team got to work, delivering those materials over several cycles that could then be transformed by the PVH manufacturing team and network into various articles from handbags to footwear. Those data have been critical for us, again, to go beyond just the numbers on the page, to get the feedback from the manufacturers. And once again, we're now in our third iterative cycle. So now that we have scale for the second generation product, which continues to be tested, we're now refining the product further in order to ensure that we hit the quality and, of course, the economic necessity for that particular product. The next piece, which is really critical, is also giving large partners like PVH vision to the supply chain. So how does that work? And so today, we have what I like to call our industrial ecosystem right here in the Netherlands. So Ecovative owns a seed business in the town called Venlo, which is near the German border, where we produce precisely that, the seeds that go into the farms that cultivate our product. Though we integrate into mushroom farms, we also needed some bespoke pieces of equipment. And for that, we partnered with another Dutch partner that had a lot of reach within the infrastructure that we look for, Limbraco, which is located in Horst. There's a number of mushroom farms here in the Netherlands. The Netherlands is the second largest mushroom producer in Europe after Poland. And in that way, we found a farm partner that was very innovative and has now been cultivating our aerial mycelium products since September in Amersfoort. And from there, it goes to Dongen, to the tannery, to get dyed, finished, and then back to Amsterdam. And so for all of those reasons, we have this great supply chain that fits directly within a 200-kilometer radius right here in the Netherlands. And we couldn't do this in terms of the testing and iterative cycle without a great partner on the tanning side. And that's where we really turned to Eco Leather. We selected Eco Leather not because they're very large and have connections to a number of very well-recognized brands, but they're known for their quality. They're a design-led tannery. They are very sustainable, perhaps the most sustainable tannery in the world, and they're entirely innovative. They've been able to demonstrate with our materials that we deliver on a weekly basis that they can use existing infrastructure within the tanning industry without tanning it, because that's a bit of a misnomer for mycelium, but using the same types of tanning drums, drying technology, splitting technology, and of course finishing methods to get a diversity of articles that can go to Tommy and several other brands.
So we think that in the fashion industry, it's really important to create the space for this new next generation material. And in order to do that, we think we should take in consideration four main elements. At first, we think this new material needs to consider new solution and not something that is going to substitute the conventional material that we are using at the moment. And in order to do that, we should present this solution and we should introduce this solution in a way that our supply chain, but also our final consumer understand with something with the new characteristic, new look, and also new property. Sorry, wrong button. As a second element, we think it's really important to take the right time in order to test and learn from the testing that we are making. Just to give you a practical example, we started the partnership with Gavin 2 years ago, and as Gavin showed, this was the first material that we received during our first meeting. And then after 2 years, this is the dimension of the material that we are getting right now. And also, yeah, later you can also have the possibility to touch and feel it and see the difference between the two samples. As a third point, we think communication is key. And this because in order to make sure that the full supply chain understand this solution, we need to create the right partnership, but also we need to share knowledge. And this needs to be done inside our supply chain, so we really need to take the time to explain our manufacturing suppliers and other partners how to really handle the material and what are the beautiful characteristics of the solution. But also we need to take the time to show the material internally in our brands to make sure a designer and also product developer has the possibility to really get to know this solution. As a last point, in order to create the right space for this solution, we think we need to take the process step by step. So from a PVH Europe point of view, we are thinking to introduce the material into the market with a seed scale maximized approach. And this would help us to really understand how our supply chain react to the solution, but also our market and final consumer. And after the delivery of few selected products, then we will be able to learn from it and understand how to scale and maximize the material to make sure that this is something that is going to stay in our collection and not something that after 2 seasons is going to disappear. Thank you so much for your time, and we really hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you, Gavin, for giving me the possibility to do it with you. And yeah, see you around.